I just met Eddie Kramer. That was so cool. Um, I have been thinking for a while that I would like more knowledge on mixing and mastering and audio engineering in general. I recorded my first album on Pro Tools with 4 mics, two C414s, a Beta 52 on the kick, and a SM57 with the snare and everything else. And so I had some friends at San Marcos, Texas State, in recording school. They helped me mix and master it, and they did a great job if you listen to my first album. I've noticed, though, making a few singles and preparing my second album, I have such an advantage over what sounds I want than the various people who do their best, do a great job, but you have to communicate back and forth. Sometimes they say 2 revisions if you hire someone, and it's like, can we do more like 17 quick revisions? And it's because all the little details. You just don't know what buttons to click. Anyway, I was thinking, man, if anyone can mix, I can learn it too. And so can you. How can I begin to learn? I'm too lazy to do a 4-year bachelor's degree for audio engineering. But what's the opposite of lazy? I need to do something. And then I just thought that. I didn't even say it out loud. Boom. This Eddie Kramer mixing course pops up on my algorithm. And I'm like, okay, there we go. There's the answer right there. Don't even have to think about it, because why not learn from the greatest of all time? Eddie Kramer. Who else? George Martin. Rick... Longbeard has the gray book with the circle on the front. You know who I'm talking. Ruben. There's all these great producers, and he's just legendary with his work from Hendrix, Stones, a little bit of Zeppelin, and so I just took that first course, and it was 3 hours, very audio engineering based. There's this track with 12 to 20, something around there, stems. It's just a upbeat rock track, a little bit of a southern rock, bluesy kind of thing. Like, imagine how the Greta Van Fleet guitar sounds, kind of like that Jimmy Page era in Physical Graffiti. So we went track by track and looked at all the plugins that were on it and the little changes. That was cool. I remember one moment where Eddie was like, I would back off the compression just a tiny bit on this, which was just cool to hear him in real time mixing, producing. So along the way, something that really stood out to me was the obvious thing. This is, if you've been in this world, this environment, you've heard this before, but it was just cool hearing from him about how, it's all about the vibe and capturing the story. What story are you trying to tell? And he made the point that, yes, what is it called? The Neumann U47, which is a $20,000 microphone. How it's nice when you have it, but sometimes it's hard to get. And so you don't need that to tell the great story, to make a great song. And so that was just so cool to hear, because I know I've been in that situation. If you listen to the last song of my album, Rocket Fizz, that song I made in 45 minutes with no recording knowledge. I made it up on the spot. I started with drums and just drummed what felt like a song, and then added the layers and added singing last, a melody that kind of felt right. And after I sent it to the mixer, he was like, dude, your vocals are clipping throughout the whole thing. And I was like, it's fine. And now this final mastered version that you hear today, the vocals do kind of clip out, but it's kind of okay. It kind of matches the whole theme, the rocket fizz, a rocket's taking off, and is using all the possible power it can, so that it's at this point where like the power is almost breaking up, because it's like so maxed out that even maxed out is not enough. If that kind of makes sense, that visual of a force. So like I think that song of mine is an example where like I think I captured a cool vibe. And I've made some other singles more recently that were like for fun, or testing something out, or testing out a vibe in my brain, trying to pull it into reality. And none of the, I mean, if I play it back to back with like Flowers by Miley Cyrus, all of them are like, I shouldn't even try to compete because the resources that the team had for a song like that is incredibly beyond my stage, but it is not at all discouraging, because it's fun to fine tune this power that I, or you probably, if you're even finding this video of the whole internet, if you found me and this video, you are probably a really skilled creative on a similar journey to me. And so it's cool taking advantage of these limited resources, because the more limited the technology is, the more it's going to make our creative antenna and brain fine-tuned with the universe, because we had to sharpen that side to make up for the other side, right? I'm kind of saying this for the first time, but I think it's making sense. He also made the point that, what was the other thing he said? So I asked all about the recording process, told him how I'm recording one thing at a time, and this is another basic thing, but coming from him, kind of makes the whole thing make more sense. Just like, he's like, well, if you're starting on drums, maybe just start with the kick drum, test out the sound, adjust the mic distance, and then try the other drums, and try to just test things once at a time, and add that all together. And that's such a basic idea, right? Or if you're got the song first, then record the scratch track and try to get that down first, and then add the layers on top of that. And it's like, that is kind of what I did, but hearing him like give you the permission to do that, it's like, whoa, I want to do that. That sounds fun now that you're saying to do it. Like before, I thought it was like this grueling task to try and find the right sound, but now that you're like getting me excited about it. But this really sparks a bigger question. I had a little space in Dallas to record. I had my drums, the guitar could go as loud as possible. I had this perfect space to do what he's saying, the fun thing that I wish I could be doing right now, testing out mics all day. Now that I took the leap to Los Angeles, I'm in my apartment, beautiful recording space, but I can't record drums. The guitar can only be so loud. So I'm just thinking, I need to figure out a situation similar to my Dallas situation, but here. I need to ship my drums. I need to get them here. This is, I need to, figure out how I can duplicate the Dallas, because it just, I've just fallen in love with this place. I cannot go back to Dallas right now. So I could go back for a trip, but not move there at the moment. So anyway, I'm going to have to figure that end out. And I guess right before I end this, I'll just kind of read through the notes I took throughout the session. His preferred snare mics. And I was typing fast, so I don't know if I have all the information. He said he likes the, there's a Shure condenser mic called the KSM 141 for snare. He says there's a 451 and an 81 pencil condenser, and he thinks that the KSM 141 is a mixture of both. I took the note and attenuate. He was like, dial the attenuator. I was like, what the hell is that? So I still don't know what that is. I need to Google that. Favorite overheads, the U47, U67, U87, vintage tube mic if you can get it. There's the hard part. He mentioned harmonic content was important. He talked about how Hendrix recorded in 4 tracks. He said he never records bass with just DI. it never does it for him. He says if you're gonna record the bass, always have an amp as well. Uh, and then he said try to have a tube DI, which I'm sure would sound better. For bass mics, he likes the 47 FET. That's what it sounded like he said. I don't know if I'm right on the words. And that's it. There's a few other like one-word notes, but it's like I wrote down like I want to look up pre-delay, what that is more. Or he talked about Olympic Studios, which I'm assuming is a super cool legendary studio, right? Is that's what that sounds like? So probably some cool history there. Overall, I'm just buzzing off of one of these cool days. It's just like the other days when I met Ozzy or Paul Stanley or Nuno Betancourt. I'm experiencing one of those days right now. So it's multiple weeks. So stay tuned. Follow, subscribe if you want to see. I love to document these things. I do all kinds of guitar courses and things. So stay tuned. Let me know what you think, what your thoughts are about this, what questions you have. And yeah, let me know what's up. Just in general, have a great day.